Hey everyone, it's Q Storm. I'm back with another movie review. But first, I just wanted to show off my number 44 issue of Fantastic Four. I think I have an issue that's earlier than this one, but I couldn't find it for the review, so I just grabbed this one. It's only 12 cents. How about that? But I just wanted to point this out to say that I've been collecting Fantastic Four since, I want to say 1979, 1980, all the way up to 1999. So I am a fan of Fantastic Four, particularly the Lee Kirby iteration. Moving forward up into the late 90s when the Ultimate line came out. That's when I kind of trailed off of collecting comics in general. And it's also why this is all the more painful. So let me just stop for a minute and just see if I can find the right words to sum up how I feel about this movie.
I'm upset. Louder! I'm upset!
Okay, before I get into dissecting my opinion of this film, let's take a look at the cast, shall we? First, we have the crybaby from Whiplash as Reed Richards.
Oh my dear God.
Billy Elliot as the Thing.
Thank you.
Elsa from Frozen as the Invisible Woman. And Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch.
Good God, you're black.
All right, let me just get into it. This is a movie in search of a story, plot, and characters. It takes the first 2/3 of the film creating the superpowered quartet, and it takes its sweet time building up to that. But after that, the film doesn't know what to do with them. I know this film is based on the Ultimate Fantastic Four. Fact is, I don't care. None of the four characters are written in any way, shape, or form like the characters in the comics. None of the characters in the film are written like fully realized human beings. But I'll put that aside. The movie does start off somewhat interesting if you accept that this is derived from the Ultimate FF. We see young Reed Richards as a grade school kid who becomes friends with Bing Grimm, who assists Reed in building a teleportation device. Even early on though, these scenes have a cheapness about them. The dialogue is flimsy, the characters are all caricatures, they're just not written as real people, unless, for example, teachers routinely discourage students from dreaming big.
Is it next to your flying car?
7 years later, Reed and Ben are best buds for whatever reason. See, in my version of FF, they naturally became friends because they were college roommates. Reed admired Ben's ability on the football field. Ben admired Reed's intellectual acumen. Here, they're just friends for no believable reason. During a high school science fair, well, I think it was high school given how old Reed and Ben look, but yet the same teacher from their grade school is present here. Anyway, out of nowhere comes Franklin Storm and his daughter Sue. No explanation how they knew where to find Reed, or maybe I just missed that, but okay, that's nitpicking.
The Overacting Negro Ensemble presents
I am not all that familiar with Reg E. Cathy, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. I'm not that familiar with him as an actor. I recognize him from other projects, of course. And he may very well be an excellent actor, but not here. He's horrible. As an actor in this movie, he makes a great voiceover talent.
All I want to know is where are my children?
If I need a reading for a Ford F-150 commercial or a Budweiser spot, he's my guy. But here, every line is delivered with more weight than is remotely necessary.
Dr. Storm, we gave you 6 years and millions of dollars, and you gave us nothing. What's different now?
Reed Richards. He knows answers to questions we don't even know to ask yet. I want you to meet my daughter, Sue.
Maybe he just has that natural bass in his voice, but it makes him sound more like Galactus than a scientific entrepreneur. There's a laughable scene where Franklin confronts Johnny after bailing him out of jail.
You have no idea what they are planning to do to you. Listen to me.
That's what got me here in the first place.
The guy just doesn't work either as a character or as an actor. Even up to this point now, everything has the feel of a cheap after-school special, from the pacing, to the camera blocking, to the blocking of the actors, to the lighting. I'll put it this way. I didn't notice any of these things in Ant-Man or Mission Impossible. I noticed them here. And when you notice this stuff, that means it wasn't done right. The one positive thing I can say about this film is that when we first see the quartet after gaining their powers, there's a genuine sense of dread in seeing Reed misshapenly stretched out on a slab.
Help me!
I felt horrified hearing Ben Grimm screaming for help while trapped within his rocky shell. In other words, the film elicited actual emotions from me. But then Reed goes and does something totally out of character in the very next scene, which took me back right out of the film. Amazingly, Trank makes the same mistake here that he made in Chronicle. In that film, we never get to see the characters discover their powers, which is part of the fun. Here, we see all four of them in containment. Then I believe we jump forward a year, and then we got Johnny all of a sudden chasing down fighter jets. The Thing is in full strength as a military operative. Sue is moving tonnage with her force field and floating in a force bubble. That's not how the force bubbles work. And Reed is taking out the SWAT team from Jurassic World. Again, we don't get to enjoy seeing these guys learn about their powers or come to grips with them, which would have been especially dramatic to see in the case of Ben Grimm.
Just want to fix my friends.
We can't fix this.
Nobody can.
We can't fix this.
Nobody can.
As it is, it's the equivalent of seeing Peter Parker walk into a lab, get bit by a spider, then we cut to black, and the next scene, he's web swinging over the rooftops. I will say that seeing Reed use his powers to take out a military team was pretty badass. But it's just ridiculous to think that a guy with no training, who received no training, unlike his partners, it's ridiculous to think that he would learn how to use his new powers to take out some paramilitary guys. On that same note, how did Sue manage to get her powers? Then there's Dr. Doom. Somehow, they managed to make the metrosexual Doom from the story films much more authentic. This Doom and Ultron from the last Avengers film share one thing in common. They both get really pissed at humanity within a few seconds of consciousness, and they both want to destroy the entire world with very little motivation. Here, they give Doom terrifying and inexplicable powers, which he doesn't bother to use on the FF in the final battle. Did I say battle? It's more like a tacked-on ending that was shot on a Saturday afternoon. Listen, whomever takes the next shot at an FF film, just take my advice as you're conceptualizing Dr. Doom. Just copy Darth Vader and call it a day.
You have failed me for the last time.
The last thing I'll say is this, and anyone who knows me from my blog or from Facebook movie groups knows that I am not generally in favor of casting black actors for traditionally white characters. It's a lazy attempt at diversity, I think, rather than doing the hard work of creating new characters of color or utilizing ones that already exist and marketing them properly. Also, I try my best not to be a hypocrite, because I know I'd be pissed if Hollywood made black characters white. So it goes without saying, I wasn't thrilled about Michael B. Jordan as the Torch. But that's a battle I'm not going to have anymore. It's going to continue to happen, so I give up. But here's the thing. If you're going to do that, thereby having to contrive that Sue was adopted, don't insult my intelligence by presenting that on screen as if it's a normal, everyday occurrence. In my 40-plus years on this planet, I've traveled across the country, lived in a number of different places, and I have yet to see black families adopting Caucasian kids. I know there are tons of white families adopting black children. Hell, between Madonna, Angelina Jolie, and Philip Drummond, they got that on lock.
What you talking about?
I'm also not saying that it's never happened in reverse. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I've never seen it. So if you're going to put that in your story, take a little moment to address it. Do something with it. Or better yet, again, sit down and watch The Flash on TV and just copy. I'm giving Fantastic Four 1 out of 5 reels. Well, that's about it. I apologize if this video seems rushed and uneven. I intended to release it on Friday, but I had to push it back until today. But hopefully you'll cut me some slack. seeing as Fox and Trank had a $120 million budget, and the exact same thing happened to them. And that's the martini.